Hello, good morning. Hello, Calante and Claude. Good to have you both here. All right. I was able to be, Calante says, I was able to be at the last live stream, unable to be because my mother made me do some stuff for her literally a minute before the stream had begun. Oh, yeah, well, you were there for a little while yesterday, but I totally understand that. Moms need you to do stuff. But it's good to have you here now. Oh, I forgot to plug my internet in. I'll go do that. So sorry if it's choppy. I'll take care of it. What's everyone working on today? Claude says, hello. I'm going to write scene 2 of chapter 3 of my paranormal novel. Paranormal novel is something that I would have to practice saying. That sounds great, Claude. I will be working on the same thing. Probably working on the same chapter I was yesterday, talking for my memoir, talking about when we started our nonprofit. How's everyone doing today otherwise? I got to see some family that came through town very unexpectedly last night. My brother, who I don't get to see, I mean, sometimes it'll be several years between times I get to see him. And I've gotten to see him twice this year. That was nice. It was a nice, relaxing time. I'm concerned about my internet. So I think I will just go ahead and get this sprint started so I can go get plugged in. Okay, bring up my video file. Whew. I'm not quite as tired today as I was yesterday, but I'm not going to say that I'm not tired, but I'm feeling more alert. Oh boy. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this started. I'll take care of my internet and then we can chat after this. One moment, let me note where I'm leaving off. Okay. All right. How did that go for you all? It took me a little while to get into it, but once I started, then I was pretty good. So I will say this, like I think that I decided to cancel my live stream last Friday because I went out of town for the day to see some friends that I haven't seen in a really long time. Excuse me. And there's just been so much going on that I was like, you know what? I need to sleep in. I need to take a day off. I need to go and relax and see some good friends. And I'm glad I did that. But I also definitely missed the Friday stream because I can do longer chunks of time. And, you know, whereas where I'm writing, like for the podcast, these smaller, like shorter 25-minute breaks or 25-minute sprints, I can hop in and out of that pretty fast. I'm finding that I'm needing longer sprint time. It's kind of a balance. I'm needing longer chunks of time because I'm realizing that I'm needing time to just get into the place, get my memory back to those times and get into the swing of things. And so longer sprints, which is probably what I'll do this Friday, I think will work a little better for me. On the other hand, this early in the morning, I don't think I would concentrate for like even like a 30 or 40-minute sprint. So I think I'm not going to change my method. It's just getting used to writing something different, and it's a different type of challenge. And I'm just now, like, I'm having this revelation in the moment. So I don't know if that's ever happened to you when you're writing different things, you need different periods of time to concentrate. Yeah. So an hour and a half is a pretty short amount of time, but I just don't think I could start any earlier than 5:45 a.m. That's pretty early during the week, and I need to sleep during the week. So I'm just going to make the best of it. I'm hoping that as time goes on, I really am just digging into my memoir for the first time in almost a year. So trying to just have grace and patience with myself. My tendency is to be like, come on, let's get to work. And sometimes, like, not every kind of project is that kind of project. Hopefully, as I get into it, it'll come a little easier. It's also been an exceedingly stressful few weeks. Not like a bad few weeks. It's just been like a lot of different things than usual going on, especially the last like 3 weeks. Really early, like turning the screws. So it's just harder to be to get into a creative space when my mind is in so many other places. Well, that's my experience, but I'm glad I'm here. Sometimes I also think that just continuing to show up, like all of you do so regularly with your work, and I see you here and then on the other live streams, just continuing to show up when you're able is super important to keep going on a project. So yeah. Okay. There's my little manifesto for the day. Having revelations in the moment at 6:15 a.m. We had some fun chat as well. Let's see here. Scrolling up. Oh, Amaka joined us. Good to see you. Ally Alexis, I'm really happy for you, Ally Alexis. I knew that you'd shared with everyone that you had gone on different, like job interviews. So congrats on getting high praise from your boss and coworkers. And let's see. super hot in England right now. It is here too. It lasts a long time. Well, I don't need to show my own. It lasts a long time here. The heat lasts a long time here in Oklahoma. Not my favorite. Calante says, finished outlining some more chapters of a project I plan on working in September. Okay, cool. Outlining is super useful. That's great. What kind of job do you think you'll get in September, Calante? September is equally far and close. It's like a month away, but it feels much further than that. Claude says, time flies fast sometimes. Yes. My mother was speaking of Christmas the other day. I told her to relax a bit. I want to see summer. Before that, I know. Sounds like your mom is a real planner. She's like, we got to get next year planned. Got time to plan for 2022. I get that way sometimes, especially with work. Oh, am I frozen? Ma, let me know if I'm frozen. One second, let me write a note. All right. Anyway, yeah. So I think about like the beginning of the beginning of 2022 for work, and I have to be careful about that because it feels like the year is over, and I'm like, I have to appreciate each day for what it is. I don't know that I actually do that well, but I know I need to. Otherwise, it can feel like the year is over in March for me if I'm not careful. But that is funny about your mom. It's a very mom thing to want to start planning for Christmas. Oh, and then Claude also said, wrote almost a page. That's great. Claude, it was just yesterday that you wrote a paragraph and then you gave your paragraph a sibling. And look at that. Now you got almost a page. That's awesome. I mean, perhaps you wrote more than that in between yesterday morning and this morning. But I remember getting confused. I was like, you wrote a character, a sibling for your character? The paragraph is the sibling of the other paragraph. That's kind of funny. Oh my gosh, you're so right, Alexis. I've spent a few summers in Europe, and experienced that heat, and you have to leave the windows open, and then like spiders would get in. It was awful. That was in Switzerland, but I've spent a summer in Dublin, a couple summers in Switzerland. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun for sure. And I'm so thankful for air conditioning. Let's see. Just showing up is important. We'd like to always be at 100% capacity, but it's not possible. You're right. I'm still learning to accept that as well. I literally cannot work at 100 capacity 100% of the time. And I'm like, but why? Things like rest is necessary and taking a break. And I'm like, I just want to keep going. And that's just not we're just not capable of that. Yeah, constantly trying to wrap my head around that as well. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that, Alexis. Okay, good. Okay. The siblings were erased. Oh, no. Erased from existence. That's funny. They had to exist in order to help you move forward with your writing. They served their purpose, and then we bid them adieu. I have to tell myself that a job and money is more important than sunny days at the beach, right? Not as fun, but hopefully a job and money make it so that you can have more fun at the beach on sunny days when you get your days off. It does make us appreciate those days more. But in the moment, you're like, I'd rather be doing something else. But I think it's great that you got this. Great that you got this job. Are you familiar with making coffee drinks? I'm getting this timer set up. Are you familiar with making coffee drinks, Alexis, or is that something new you're learning? Or are you more like cashier or like cleaning crew or like what kind of thing? Or what kind of things are you working on at the coffee shop? Okay, there. I've left questions that y'all can answer in the comments. Anybody here also know how to make coffee drinks? I learned how to make cappuccinos and use an espresso machine at a job I had when I was in high school, and I loved it. I thought it was so fun. And getting it just right and tamping down the espresso and the little thing with the handle. I found it immensely satisfying. All right, let's get this sprint going. I'll talk to y'all in 25 minutes. think I'm about to sneeze, but I can't decide. Really bad timing. Really bad timing, nose. All right, I think it's calmed down. Oh, our good pal, AllyDeatherageArt stopped by. I just noticed I wasn't on this screen. And so I just noticed maybe like a minute ago that she had stopped by. So Ally, I don't know if you're still here. Possibly. If you left this message it says you left it at 6:30. Maybe you've got a little break. But anyway, thanks for popping in. Let's see, we left up. Ally, Alexis took off. Oh, we were talking about coffee. I don't really make coffee, but I'll have to learn. Plan on getting a job as a barista in a small coffee shop. Nice. I have to ask again if they're looking for any help. I think that would be, I mean, you know, there's a certain amount of stress to that job because people want their coffee. But I think that that would be a fun job. In terms of jobs. It's not hard. I think it's also a fun skill to learn. I like knowing how things work. I'm boring regarding coffee. I take it black and don't know the first thing about various coffee drinks. I understand that. Usually, I mean, at home, I just take coffee either black or with just a little bit of almond milk. Yeah. And when I get coffee out, even when I ordered a coffee drink, it's still pretty simple. But it is fascinating, the things that they figure out to do with a coffee. AllyDeatherageArt was a barista at Starbucks for a long time, years, several years. So whenever I have questions about Starbucks stuff, I'm like, Ally, does Starbucks do this? And she's like, yeah, this is what goes in that drink and this is how they do it. And I'm like, thanks. She was a trainer. She actually had to teach people how to make those dang drinks. All right. How did your sprint go? Mine was all right. Actually, I was messaging AllyDeatherageArt during this and saying like, I'm just in this weird time of my life where there's a lot going on externally and it is taking away from my bandwidth to do extra stuff. And like, I just got to be okay with that right now. Like we were talking in the last break, this has just continued to come up. I've just continued to reflect on it. The idea that it's important to set aside the time and keep coming back, because if I keep coming back, then when things lift and get a little bit easier, which they will, nothing lasts forever. There are seasons in life. Then I'll still have the habit of coming back to this. And I think when that happens, I just know that this book it's just ready to kind of pour out. I'm just waiting for that time, being okay with it in the meantime. Still feel like I could sneeze. Sorry. Still feel like we could sneeze at just any moment. So we'll see what happens. That'll be exciting. Oh, Claude says, I wrote another page. The ideas are there, but it will need edits because the prose is awful. I mean, of course it will, right? That's when I'm writing about this story. I'm like, this is not the most interesting way to say this. This is definitely going to need some editing. I'm not sure I'll even keep this in, but I'm like, I got to get it out to get to the next thing. It is such a, I'm like smushing my face. It's such a process. The stages of creativity that have to happen before you can get to the really good stuff. It is a different way of thinking and operating, for sure. All right. Well, I guess let's go ahead. When I finish sprints, oftentimes I work from home. Today I'll have to go into my office. So I think when we wrap up here, the sooner we can wrap up here, the more I can get a jump on this day. And I think that will be helpful for me. So let's do it. Let's dive into this third sprint. I appreciate you all being here. It's so much nicer to not feel so like on my own doing all of this. And so when I'm going through a super productive time, it's super fun to have everyone involved. When I'm not in a super productive time, it's really nice to have others who are being productive and working on things, because it helps. It's just very encouraging. It's very encouraging. So I appreciate you all being here. All right, friendos, let's get started on this, and I'll talk to you in 25 minutes. Welcome back from the last of our sprints this morning. I hope it went well for you. I'm glad I could be here, at least thinking about things, writing a little bit. And yeah, just like we were saying, that's the theme of today, showing up. So let's take a look at your comments. Let me know how that went for you. Calante was about to finish outlining 2 chapters. I finished 1. My parents asked me to do some stuff for them. That is what happens when you're still living at home with your parents. It's understandable, frustrating, but oh, it looks like you got, is this your second one then, Calante? So they asked you to do some stuff, but you still had time to get more done. That's great. Such is life, but you are overcoming, you're working around those different things. So that's good. Let's see. Claude asked, when you stream, to use the computer on your laptop or a separate camera. I wonder how it works if it's separate. How do you tell the software where to get its feed? Oh, okay. So I can use my built-in laptop. I do have a separate little webcam that's plugged into my computer. And so I use StreamYard, and on StreamYard, you can set the camera so it detects the different camera options and microphone options that you have plugged in, and you can choose. I wonder if I can switch. I don't use my built-in webcam, but I can. Okay, I don't use this one because it's not as good quality, and my external one that I have plugged in kind of sits on top of it. So I just went to the settings and switched back and forth between them. And then, yeah, you can do that for microphone as well. Very easy to do. You said you only have the camera on your laptop. Yeah, so it should be able to detect the device. And so that should work for you. So if you live stream someday, then you should be able to do that with no problem. Calante, I outlined 3 chapters during this stream. That's fantastic. Wow, your goal was 2 and you got 3 done. That's wonderful. I'm really glad that worked out for you, Calante. Yeah, it is pretty simple. The trick, and I should check my microphone every so often, like I have it set. Yeah, it's on the proper microphone. Well, I have it set for certain things, and then all of a sudden it'll, you know how things work. It'll suddenly swap it around, and I have to make sure that it's on the right thing, but usually it works pretty well, and I don't have any problems with it. All right, well, that's it. Thank you, Claude and Calante, and anyone else who hopped on. Thank you if you're watching the replay. I hope you got in some good words or some good editing or outlining. I'm just really thankful for all of you who are here. You make my day brighter. And I will be here Friday morning as usual, 7:30 a.m. Central Time in the United States. And I will stream for probably 4 hours that day. All right. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining. I'll see you again soon.